Well. Welcome. We have not been live in very long time.
It's been a minute.
Feels good. It's definitely it's been a lot more
Oh,
than a
yeah.
minute.
Been a lot of minutes.
Been so many minutes that I forgot we even do this show for a while. But it doesn't matter. We're back. My name is Jake. Right here next to me is Austin. Bryce will be joining us at some point within the next half an hour. We're all back. The band is back together. Austin, how the
Yes,
hell are you?
sir. I'm great. My Packers were 11-3, about to lock up that one seed in the NFC. It's a great time to be a Packers fan. So I'm fantastic.
How can you be bad when your team is in the playoff hunt and or already clinched into the playoffs?
Oh yeah.
Unlike me and my Patriots. Oh
Oh,
man.
you guys are on track to have the record that I predicted. I said 6-10.
I'm gonna be honest. I said I think 5-11. So I'm not too
Yeah,
far
see,
off
we
either.
were,
And that was
we
with
were right
Cam
around
Newton.
the same. Yeah.
Yep. And
Yeah.
we
Poor
knew Cam Newton wasn't the answer in New England. That's fine, but that's not what we want to talk about first. We have
No.
There is even more that we want to talk about first. Austin, can you tell me how the hell Pittsburgh lost to Cincinnati on Monday Night Football?
Yeah, absolutely. They have a Big Ben problem. He can't play anymore. He's shot. He's shot.
Ooh.
Absolutely shot. Through the first 8 weeks of the season, I believe he was like 24-5. And in the last 6 games, I think he's 6-5 as far as touchdown interceptions. He's turning the ball over too much, and it seems like he can't throw as the season goes on and on. There was a couple throws you look at against Cincinnati yesterday where the receiver was open. It was just he didn't have the arm strength to make the throw, or he was just inaccurate or off target.
Now we can easily blame Big Ben all we want. His arm is shot, his elbow's destroyed. He doesn't have his pinpoint accuracy. But more importantly, don't forget to blame Juju Smith-Schuster.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Mister, I want to dance on your logo for TikTok, gets popped and fumbles the ball.
Well, here's the thing about Juju Smith-Schuster is he gets paid like a number 1 receiver, and he's more like a good 2 or maybe a 3. Since Antonio Brown left the Steelers, Juju Smith has not recorded a 100-yard receiving game. That you're not a number 1. I'm sorry. If you can't get 100 yards in 2 seasons, you're not a number 1.
And if I saw this correctly today, Juju Smith-Schuster has more TikToks on TikTok right now than he has most yards in a game this season. He has 95 TikToks, and his highest for the season is 93 yards.
Yeah,
Mike Tomlin said he was going to – yeah, exactly. Mike Tomlin said he was going to sit down with Juju. Okay, first off, Mike, you're the coach. You shouldn't be sitting down. You should literally be telling him to cut the shit.
Yeah, 100%.
But then again, they should have never gotten – exactly. Oh, Mike Tomlin or Juju?
I would trade him. Juju. Tomlin's a Hall of Famer. Juju's got to go. You already have a guy who could probably step up in that number 1 role in Chase Claypool, who I like a lot. And then you have guys like James Washington and Deontay Johnson, who are a great 2 and a great 3. So you really don't need Juju there, especially with the amount of talent that Pittsburgh has, that young talent that they're going to have to pay soon. They're going to have to pay. Is Minka Fitzpatrick signed?
Yes, he re-signed at the beginning of last year for, I believe, 4.
Okay, so yeah, they still have guys on that team who are going to need money soon, and you can't have Juju Smith on that contract that he has when he's not matching with production.
Absolutely.
So
I'm a little less convinced in Chase Claypool than you are. He had 1 4-touchdown game, and I mean beyond that, it's a touchdown here and there. He's your normal number 2.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna go ahead.
I think the reason why is because of how many targets and how much attention that Juju Smith draws. So it's like with Juju out of the building, I think you'd see a bit of more growth in all 3 of those receivers. I think they're all B- to A receivers.
Is that including Deontay Johnson?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's time to just get Juju out of the building. Even a team like Green Bay, that didn't draft a receiver last year, probably won't draft a receiver this year. if they could swing it cap-wise, I think it makes sense to trade for Juju and have him as the number 2 to Davante Adams. Maybe you'd actually see some production out of him then.
Well, let's be honest. Green Bay's not going to make that move.
No, we don't do that.
That's not a thing Green Bay does.
We don't do blockbuster trades.
Now, Mike Tomlin, I want to get back to that real quick, sitting down with Juju, telling him, the words were, I'm going to have a conversation with him. It should have never got to that point of Mike Tomlin having to step in. Somebody like Cameron Hayward or David DeCastro still there? One of the offensive linemen that's been Villanova, David DeCastro. Somebody should have sat him down and be like, yo, you can't be doing this. Like, a veteran player needs to take the leadership role. And it seems like the Steelers don't have a leader.
No, and you can't look to Big Ben to be a leader. And Mike Tomlin, as brilliant as he is as a defensive mind, and I think he, in the war room on draft day, I think he does a phenomenal job. The Steelers always have really good players. My problem with Mike Tomlin is he's way too much of a player's coach. Guys love to play for him, and that can be a good thing, but he's also somewhat of a pushover when it comes to things like, Juju and Antonio Brown's antics. Because, how long did Antonio Brown's, nonsense go on in Pittsburgh before, mainstream media caught wind of it? It was going on for quite a while. And Tomlin was kind of just dealing with it because, this guy's really talented. Juju Smith is talented, no doubt. But the production is not matching to the kind of distraction that he's causing.
If Juju gets traded, you know where I see him going?
San Francisco.
No, San Francisco is going to focus on a quarterback this offseason, so we'll get into that a little bit later. Buffalo, to be the number 2 to Stephon Diggs.
I'd argue they have a number 2. Cole Beasley's a beast, dude.
Cole Beasley's only a beast now that Stephon Diggs is there, but you can put Beasley as the slot number 3 and have Diggs and Juju.
Yeah, and they have the money to do it.
Each other. Exactly.
Yeah, they have the money to do it. Why not?
I think Buffalo's a great fit for Juju.
That'd be interesting to see. I also like Gabriel Davis, so I don't know if I would see Juju in that equation, but it's definitely an interesting thought. Could also see him in like New England, but I don't think New England would tolerate his antics or the money that he demands. Houston.
New England is another team that's going to be striving for a quarterback first and foremost.
But then they take a quarterback with the first round pick.
No, they will not.
No, they won't. That's not Belichick.
We're going to get into that a little. We're going to play quarterback carousel in probably about 10, 15 minutes.
A little bit later.
So we'll get into that. So right now we're going to keep on the Pittsburgh downfall. They've lost 3 straight.
Yeah.
And it's not like they lost to great teams. No. They lost to Washington.
Yep.
They've lost now to Cincy, and I forget who was in the middle of those two.
Tennessee. No, Buffalo. They lost to Buffalo, I think.
Buffalo, yeah. Buffalo's explainable. That makes sense.
Yeah. Just Buffalo right now is a really good team.
Exactly. So losing to them, fine. You get the pass on that. Guys, you started 11-0. You shouldn't be losing to Washington, and you shouldn't be losing to Cincy.
They lost to football team. They lost to the team that doesn't have a name.
Well, okay, the team that doesn't have a name. The team the quarterback's a whole different issue. I also like going to strip clubs with my mask off during COVID.
Oh my God. That I heard about that this morning, and I'm out on Dwayne Haskins. I wasn't before. I thought if you gave him a couple of years, got him some receivers outside of Terry McLaurin, who I think's a stud but needs a little help, got him an offensive line, maybe a younger offensive mind as an OC on Washington. Maybe there's something there with Haskins, but you can't teach immaturity. You can't coach that. So
it's the same thing that Juju's having the issue with now.
Exactly. You can't
different ways of going about the immaturity. We have Bryce joining us for the first time tonight. He is here.
Finally, guys. Finally made it.
Here he is. You're late.
Oh, Bryce, man. I think you need to shave.
Nah, man. It's getting cold
for a while.
You're late. Come in here unshaven and late.
Hey, man. Look. Man, I've been doing all right. How about you guys?
We're doing pretty good. We're just we're talking about the downfall of the Pittsburgh Steelers on their 3 straight losses. What are your thoughts on this?
I think we talked about this early in the season. I was never in on Pittsburgh. I didn't see it. You can't rely on 38-year-old Ben Roethlisberger to throw 35 times a game. They don't have a running game, so I was never in on them. I knew once they played the Bills, I was like, they could easily go like 0-5 those last 5 games, and that's looked like might was going to happen.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they've locked up a playoff spot, so it's not like they'll get knocked out of the playoffs as much as they might deserve it. But that division is not set in stone yet, so Cleveland might make a run and take that division from Pittsburgh. I would love to see it.
Yeah, it's very possible. I'd love to see it as well.
That's especially a Week 17 matchup, and that Week 17 matchup could very easily be for the division.
Yep. The emergence of Baker Mayfield this year has just been great. Baker's had the last 5 games. Baker's been real good.
Since OBJ's been hurt. Let's be honest.
He's like 15-1 TDI. It's insane.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield has emerged as an elite quarterback, as well as another certain quarterback that I predicted 13 months ago.
Oh, nice segue.
I'm gonna pat myself on the back for this one. And in case you guys missed it, yesterday, or actually this morning, I reshared the article on the Game Changer Sports Network Facebook page 13 months ago that I wrote calling Josh Allen an elite quarterback. So I just want you guys to put some respect on Josh Allen's name right now when I was doing it before everybody else.
Oh, my gosh. No, Josh Allen was great this
year. Yeah, I always liked him. I wouldn't have put him in elite status 13 months ago, but I always liked him. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Josh Allen, it's been a pleasant to see this year that Buffalo's finally got a quarterback. I know they made that playoff run a couple years ago, and it was Tyrod? Was it Tyrod Taylor that was starting?
Yeah.
And it was like they had no chance, but now you have a legitimate guy at the helm. So I think Buffalo definitely is a Super Bowl contender.
You guys remember
Buffalo?
I'm just saying, you remember that draft, Josh Allen, Sam Darnold? Mel Kiper had Josh Allen #1 quarterback on the board, and everybody wrote him off for it. Like, that's the one time Mel Kiper's been right. I was just thinking about that.
I would say he's always wrong, but
he was right on that.
I was going to say, I don't think I was about to segue into this. If Kansas City doesn't win the AFC, Buffalo's going to.
It's going to be Buffalo or Tennessee.
And Tennessee is my other third dark horse candidate. But it's going to be one of those two teams, Buffalo, Kansas City. If Tennessee doesn't pull something out, that wins the Super Bowl this year. Nobody 100%. In the NFC stacks up to either one of those two teams.
Not even a little bit.
We're going to learn a lot about Tennessee after this week. I think one of the best matchups in the week or the league this week is Tennessee at Green Bay. Because Tennessee doesn't have a pass rush, so they're going to make quarterbacks comfortable. You're going to have Aaron Rodgers comfortable, but it's just a matter of can Derrick Henry beat out an elite quarterback on offense in order to score enough points to win. We're going to see.
It's not only about Derrick Henry this year. Ryan Tannehill is quietly having a great year.
Yeah, 31-5, I think he is on the season. So.
Yep. So AJ Brown can pass it on you now.
I love AJ Brown. AJ Brown, Corey Davis, Jonnu Smith. They've got all types of offensive talent, and their defense is nice. It's just they don't have a pass rush for some reason.
I can't explain why they don't have a pass rush, but they should have a pass rush. Wow, Jadeveon Clowney, we knew he wasn't going to stay healthy all year.
Well, they got Harold Landry.
No chance.
Yeah, I like Harold Landry a lot.
That's about it. They need
one guy in the pass rush can't do enough.
No. You need a team, or at least like 2-3 guys.
At least 2, if not 3.
Yep. They shouldn't let Jarrell Casey go. He would have been pivotal in this playoff run.
I agree fully.
Yep.
So just wanted to get my my Josh Allen is elite. I predicted it. Just wanted to make sure we all knew. I am that good. I'm better than Mel Kiper Jr. at this point. Just saying.
Well, Jake, I was thinking about this earlier today. Back when me and you and Nick were doing this show, this was preseason. I said the Rams were going to turn it around and probably win the NFC West, and I was laughed at about that. I don't know if we can go back to time.
So you wanna just talk about how the Rams just lost to the Jets?
Hey, say what you want. I said
that. Never mind. Price is
I'm just saying.
I said they'd win the NFC West, and that looks like what's going to happen.
Seattle's still a game ahead of them.
Seattle's played.
I'm just looking at the NFC West standings right now. Seattle's 10-4. Los Angeles just lost to the worst team football's ever seen.
Look, there's no
explaining the Detroit Lions being 0-16 and the Cleveland Browns 0-16 team. This Jets team is worse. And Arizona's right there at 8-6.
You were all on the Kyler Murray hype train. I said, look, the Rams are going to turn it around, win at least 10 games. That's probably what's going to happen. Unless they just lose out.
They'll win 10 games.
Yeah.
They already did win 10 games, I think.
Los Angeles? No, they're at 9. They're 9-5.
Yeah,
they're 9. They'll still win. Yeah, they'll win 10 games. I buy the Rams. I buy their coaching staff. I buy their defense. I buy their weapons on offense. I do not buy Jared Goff.
I don't buy Sean McVay. He got figured out way too quick.
But he's adjusted, though. It's been better this year.
But he hasn't adjusted enough. He's not a Super Bowl winning coach.
You give him a quarterback, I think he is. I just think Jared Goff's not a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
I don't think Jared Goff's bad. I don't think he's great, but in this, you got to have a top tier QB in the Super Bowl.
He's like modern day Matt Ryan.
If Cam Akers can really pan out and come to his own, I think they could be a contender with Jared Goff.
Now, just to clarify, one last time, and this is my segue. Who did the Los Angeles Rams just lose to?
Say it, Bryce.
The Jets.
Yeah.
Somehow they lost the Jets.
And
the New York football team.
With that win, the New York Jets have cursed themselves for the next 10 to 15 years. Bill Belichick is in New England throwing a party. The Buffalo Bills are over here like, oh, man, Josh Allen for the next 10 years. The Miami Dolphins are like, oh, we can at least compete.
We got Tua. That man
the
Tua.
Jets, they can't even tank right. They can't even tank right.
I've seen a fan base hate their team so much for winning a game.
Here's the problem. Organizations tank, owners tank, general managers tank, but players don't tank.
No, they don't.
Nobody on the Jets wants to lose every game. Those are guys that might not, be there next year in New York. They want to have resumes to play on other teams. So, those guys are playing their hearts out. I would not want to play the Jets. I'm sorry. A team that's that desperate to not go 0-15 or 0-16, I wouldn't want to play them. They're going to do everything that they can to win.
They should have beat the Raiders. They should have. That was the worst defensive call. And again, we haven't been live in a long time. We never even talked about that. But that was the worst defensive call I've ever seen across any level. And I went to a high school football game here in Wisconsin where the defense was just as bad. But even the head coach was trying to at least make So there's a funny story behind that high school football game. My wife's over in the corner cracking up right now. Yeah. I could coach that team better than that guy, but that's not the point. They just didn't have the talent on this small-time high school team. This was just a full-blown, horrible call. But that was in the past. We're way past that. We're not going to get into that right now. Jacksonville now holds the number 1 overall pick. It is their pick to lose. Now, for those of you that don't know, because honestly, I didn't know, when you have the same record, it goes by strength of schedule for the first round, and then it rotates. So the Jets have the first pick in the second round. Jacksonville has the first pick in the third round, and so on and so forth. They're going to rotate. Jacksonville still might try to win a game because, again, as Austin just said, players don't tank.
Yeah, they don't.
Only the front office does. And actually, Pat McAfee told a story about the year that the Colts were almost 0-16. The Colts executives came into the locker room while the team was celebrating their one win, like they had just won the Super Bowl, because that's what happens, and they were crying. I imagine the Jets were doing that exact same scenario because they just lost the future of the NFL.
Here's my take on that.
I mean,
so you don't get Trevor Lawrence, but you still have Sam Darnold. If Sam Darnold's your consolation prize, you're not doing too bad. What they need to do is fire Adam Gase.
There we go. Got it.
Adam Gase has to go. Joe Douglas can stay. He's from Philadelphia. They know how to build a team. He knows how to build a team. And you take that pick and you trade it away. What
you got to?
You absolutely have to.
You're sitting at 2, and you have Carolina needs a quarterback.
Atlanta at 5.
Atlanta probably needs a quarterback.
No. Atlanta may need a quarterback, but they're pigeonholed. The amount of sheer dead cap space that would involve a Matt Ryan trade or release, it is $60 million. They can't.
Well, I mean, yeah. I don't think – I mean, me personally, from what I've seen Justin Fields, I think he needs a year to sit and, really figure out the game.
Yeah.
So take him, sit him on the bench for a year. I mean, because that's who essentially you're going to trade up to get at number 2 is Justin Fields.
I don't believe he is a number 2 overall pick.
The number 2 quarterback on my board is Zach Wilson.
Yeah, I'd probably do that as well. He just has a better arm to me.
Yeah, he's got a better arm. It seems like he's got nicer touch on deep throws. So, I mean, if you're Carolina, or not even Carolina, I have a team, you have the Lions and the 49ers and the Broncos are 11, 12, and 13. Those teams are going to want to move up. Those teams that need quarterbacks. And they don't want to have, the 4th or 5th best guy on the board. So if the Jets are offering that pick, there's going to be teams that are going to try to move up, and you can get a lot of value back, especially when you don't just need to solve quarterback. There's so many holes on that roster that you need to fill. You need as many picks as possible.
Don't forget the Patriots, the Bears, Tampa Bay might want to draft somebody and stash them. Minnesota, San Francisco. All right, let's get into the QB carousel real quick.
Let's go.
So there's going to be a lot. I didn't create a banner for this one. There are going to be a lot of quarterbacks on the market that aren't including the rookies. I cannot type and talk at the same time, apparently.
Yeah, so you're going to have guys like Jimmy Garoppolo who are going to be potentially available. Matthew
That's
Stafford.
a $2 million cap hit to release Jimmy Garoppolo outright. They're going to do it, 100%.
Yeah, they're definitely going to. If they don't do it, it's going to be seriously considered. They're not in on Jimmy Garoppolo. Kyle Shanahan's not in on Jimmy Garoppolo. Then you have Carson Wentz, who's locked in Philly right now. But if they really need to and they were able to find a team that was willing to take that contract, they would 100% move off of Carson Wentz. They could fill out their roster better and pay Jalen Hurts on a rookie deal.
Yeah, the Colts is where I got Wentz in and up. They got the cap room to take him on. You don't think so?
I disagree. No, I think Stafford goes to the Colts.
No.
Frank Reich is old offensive coordinator, head coach.
Yep.
They got the cap room to take on his deal. That's his ideal situation.
Line to protect him, so he's not consistently having to make. There's a lot of problems with Carson Wentz, so he needs to go where he was when he was good. Because it's not just the weapons around him or anything like that in Philadelphia. I tried using that to defend him for a very long time, but once you break down the film, you'll just see a lot of things that his mechanics are off. He over rotates when he throws. Like it's just a lot of things that need to be, tweaked with him. And a guy like Frank Reich can definitely do that.
A lot of his mechanical issues are just he's not getting his feet set because time he drops back, somebody's in his face. So I think behind that old line where he's got time to set his feet, his mechanics will get back to where they were.
Carson Wentz isn't reading the entire field, and that's the big problem. He's looking directly at who the play is designed for and not going through his reads. Now, Martin just said Cam Newton's going to the Washington football team. It's pretty obvious Newton's going to be out of New England, just gone.
Yeah.
Which opens the way for Jimmy Garoppolo to come back. That's where I stand on that. I think Garoppolo goes back to New England. Newton to the Washington football team, though. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
God, I mean, that's not where he needs. I mean, Cam just doesn't have it anymore. I don't know where he ends up. Just from what I'm watching, He doesn't have the arm. He's not as mobile as used to be. I mean, Washington's got nobody to throw to. At least New England's got a decent O-line.
Whoa, they got Terry McLaurin.
Well, with Terry McLaurin, that's about it. But the offensive line in New England is decent. But Washington football team, you got Brandon Scherf. That's about it.
Yeah, outside of that, there's not a whole lot of there on the O-line.
I also think that he finds his way to the unemployment line. I don't see Cam Newton getting another contract.
I think he'll get another contract, but I think he'll very much be in that Marcus Mariota role where he's going to be a good backup on another team.
Mariota came in and lit the world on fire.
He played a great game. It was very nice to see. I think maybe there's going to be some teams, next year someone big starter goes down. There's going to be some teams calling the Raiders saying, hey, can we get this guy for a 5th-round pick?
Now, what are the Saints going to do? It's highly reported that Drew Brees is retiring at the end of the year.
They have no plan. They have
Taysom Hill, not the answer. They paid him $16 million. That was a huge mistake. Jameis Winston.
Don't worry. They got Jameis. They're fine.
Jameis is a free agent.
Oh, so my issue with the Saints is that they have a bunch of guys that need to be paid.
A bunch of guys.
And
Marcus Williams comes to mind. Immediately. Yeah, Marcus Williams comes to mind immediately. That leaves you a big hole free safety if he left.
The biggest issue with you can say a bunch of guys need to get paid all you want. That's cool. You're right. But the quarterback is the most important position in football.
Yep.
I mean, where are they going to be picking? They're going to be picking late in the first. You think they can make a move for Mac Jones maybe?
I don't know. There's so many teams that need a quarterback. I don't know if Mac Jones is going to be there. This is the first year where I've seen like the top 6 quarterback prospects. I can see them all going in the first round.
Yeah, or maybe make a move up. I don't know. I think because I did mock draft earlier. I think I had Mac Jones falling to 24 to the Colts. That's where about the range I think he goes. But like you said, they could get snatched up way earlier. I mean, you don't know how the board's going to fall.
There's going to be a run on quarterbacks in this draft.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't see of the top 6. I don't see all 6 of them will be gone by 25. In my honest opinion.
Yeah, I completely agree. If you look at, it's not even about the availability of quarterbacks. It's about how the board falls. So you have Atlanta and Carolina are back-to-back. Jacksonville and the Jets are back-to-back. All 4 teams could potentially draft a quarterback. And then you go down to 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 19. All potentially could draft a quarterback. So there's a lot of teams that are just stacked on top of each other that all need quarterbacks. So the run on quarterbacks is going to be insane this year.
Now, what I will say,
15 picks.
The quarterback class this year is somewhat deep. You think they reach down to second, maybe grab a guy like Jamie Newman or somebody like that, and sit him for a year behind Jameis or Taysom Hill? I don't know. I think that's their best option.
Sitting anything behind Jameis is not a good option.
Nah, that just sounds.
Go watch him.
Well, look.
If I'm the Saints, I'm looking at the possibility of Matthew Stafford.
Yep.
I'm looking at a veteran, maybe. There's really nobody else that's becoming available in the trade market. If the 49ers could trade Jimmy G, he at least has the fundamentals down, where he can teach the fundamentals to the next guy, and you just ride out that contract. Other than that, they're kind of screwed.
I mean, you gotta get a guy that's can fit right in that offense, because you've drafted that offense around Drew Brees, so you got to get a good slant route, swing pass guy. I don't know if Stafford.
I also think Michael Thomas is out of New Orleans. Absolutely.
You think so?
So my wonderful wife has made a comment. The quarterback is not the most important player. The person who catches the ball is more important. Like you just said, Wentz throws the ball, but it's dependent on who actually catches it. That is not what I said.
I could not disagree more.
Anybody that knows football disagrees with that statement.
Yeah, 100%.
Wasn't Megatron on that Lions team that went 0-16? Wasn't he on that team?
The best wide receiver of all time was on the 0-16 Detroit Lions.
Yeah, had John Kitna throw him the ball. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
John Kitna. Oh. Yeah, if you don't have a good quarterback, your wide receivers don't matter. Look at Terry McLaurin in Washington right now.
Yeah.
Look at DeAndre Hopkins with Deshaun Watson.
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, whoa.
Yeah, I don't know about that now.
Wait. Was that a shot at Deshaun Watson?
That was an
That's a shot at
absolute shot
Watson?
at Deshaun Watson.
A shot at Watson? Dude, he's working with nothing.
I am firing shots right now. He had DeAndre Hopkins and still couldn't win a game.
Then I mean,
yeah, but
they made the playoff last year, didn't
they? Yeah. He's won his division like 3 years in a row.
They beat the Bills. They beat the Bills in the playoff last year, didn't they?
The AFC South has been notoriously horrible for the past 4 years. Cool. They won the
Titans were good last year.
If you don't have a good line, your quarterback becomes a fainting goat. Cough, Brady, cough.
I'd like to see I'd like to see Carolina get Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson. Yes. Okay, let's now play fantasy. If Deshaun Watson isn't going to be up, they're going to build around him. Whoever the new GM and coach is.
I think he's going to request a trade. I completely disagree. You see his face when Kiki Kutse fumbled that football in the end zone. He was just straight up in shock.
Oh.
They were crying the game before. He's out, man. He wants out of Houston.
I mean,
him and Harden both.
The key in this league is building around a quarterback on a rookie deal. You're about to have to pay Watson a lot of money.
Yeah.
And you're not going to have the money to fill in those holes around him unless they draft excellent.
Whoa. Watson already signed.
Yeah, he's already signed long term.
Right. So he's already signed to a massive deal.
I was going to say, it's Dak that's not signed and is going to be a huge price tag. And does Dak stay in Dallas?
I think he has to.
But they're also another one in team picking at 8 that could make a move up. I mean, you know.
If they make a move on a quarterback, that pretty much signifies that Dak is gone.
Yeah.
And they're not going to pay him. In which case, where does Dak end up?
I could see Dak ending up in the Saints.
Yeah, he'd fit that perfect.
He could actually do everything that Drew Brees does, and he's got a much stronger arm than what Drew Brees has at this point in his career. And the one thing that the Saints offense has not been able to do this year is take the top off the defense. They can't do it. So you get a
Big Ben and Drew Brees
arm.
are in the exact same situation right now with their arms.
They can't throw. They can't throw deep anymore.
Tom Brady's kind of there, but at the same time, bad defense on whoever Tampa Bay is playing is saving that his lack of being able to throw deep, because he can throw a absolute duck, but if you have two guys open downfield, it's going to look good.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That pass to Scotty Miller a few weeks ago looked pretty good.
That was a
dropping in the bucket. That was a dime.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
But he has more bad passes now than he has good passes. And that's going to bring us to our next conversation of the night. Where is it? There it is. What in the world is wrong with Tampa Bay?
Their defense. They can't run the football.
They got a young secondary. I think they kind of getting exposed here late in the year. I think their front seven's solid.
Oh, yeah. Front seven.
That doesn't answer why they're not putting points up on offense with this all-star offense, though.
Well, I mean, I think we had the expectations kind of out of control, and maybe I helped that. But, you got a new system, a new quarterback. Bruce Arians just took over a few years ago. I mean, they got to have some time to gel. I don't think Brady's nowhere near done. I think you got a couple more years with him. He's got to get his time. And Chris Godwin, Chris Godwin has been hurt all year, and that's the number 2. So, I mean, I think you give these guys another year together.
That's impossible. Tampa Bay's in a situation now. They have no cap room. They have some big names coming up. Chris Godwin, he's probably getting the franchise tag. That's taken up about, $16 million. That's going to be all the money because they're at, I think, -7 right now.
Let me look.
So they don't get that option, re-signing all these guys and giving them another year. This is their window. Gronk's gone. He's not coming back.
100%.
Fournette's going to be a free agent. I think is it LaShawn? No, not LaShawn.
Rojo, maybe. I think he's a.
I think Rojo's a restricted.
Yeah.
Then And there's Scotty Miller on the 1 year because he was an undrafted. They're gonna have to re-sign him. Did you just pull up their entire list there, Austin?
So it looks like they have a lot of poorly structured contracts. You're paying Ryan Jensen $10 million this year. Yikes!
Wow.
Yikes. Yeah. And Ndamukong Suh, I think, is gone after this year, and he's $3 million. You're gonna have to pay Devin White soon. He's gonna be expensive. William Golston is getting 4.7. Cameron
Levante David is a free agent at the end of the year.
Oof. Yeah.
That's going to be a big hit to the defense.
Now, one thing I will say about Tampa Bay, though, is they've shown an ability to draft very well in every round. I mean, they've been hitting on these draft picks lately.
Yeah, Winfield Jr. is a stud.
Winfield, Sean Murphy, Bunton's pretty good. They got him late.
If Tampa Bay is one and done, though, in the playoffs, or actually right now they could actually technically still miss the playoffs. So either miss the playoffs or one and done, whatever happens. Does Bruce Arians get fired?
No, I don't think so.
Him and Tom Brady don't seem to work, though. That's the thing. I think one of them's got to get out. Yeah. Probably going to be Arians.
They don't work at all. It's not a good marriage. Tom Brady went down south trying to get away from Belichick's hard-ass attitude, and he went to Bruce Arians, who's like, no, this is all Tom Brady's fault. Bruce Arians is the kind of coach that puts the blame on the players in the media, and that's not the kind of coach you want to be when you have somebody like Tom Brady.
They don't look prepared from week to week. They don't have an identity, and I think that's kind of on coaching.
Tom Brady is audibling the least amount percentage-wise in his career this season.
Well, the other week when he threw that dime to Scotty Miller, they won big that week. They were motioning for the first time all season. They don't put guys in motion, and that's kind of Brady's thing: motion in, motion out, so I can make a read. And
did you see Arians' face after that touchdown?
Yeah,
he looked shocked and confused.
Yeah, I mean, we really propped Arians up. I mean, he had a few good years in Arizona. Carson Palmer was playing good, and he had Andrew Luck for a year. But I mean, is he really that great of a coach? I don't think so.
I said Bruce Arians is a bad coach. I'm gonna pat myself on the back on this one again. I know I'm right.
I mean, he retired.
You're trying to get a word in edgewise here. What do you got?
I don't know. His coaching style is so chaotic, and it doesn't mesh with what Tom Brady does well at all. Yeah, you got a bunch of guys for Brady to throw to, but Brady's never been that quarterback that wants to just sling it downfield. He's very precise. I'm going to take yards where I can get them. I'm going to dump it off to the running backs. I'm going to throw to the tight end. We're going to run a lot of double tight end sets. We're going to run the ball, and that is not Bruce Arians' offense at all. Bruce Arians' offense is risk it for the biscuit. I want to take as many shots downfield as possible, and that's how we're going to win games. We're just going to shock value. We're going to throw the ball over the field. And you got a guy who's 43 years old. Can he do it on some days when you see that touchdown to Scotty Miller? Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, is he going to be able to do that in January at Lambeau Field? On the road. These are the questions you kind of have to ask yourself. That's not going to win football games. Because I guarantee you, Aaron Rodgers is not going to even be out here slinging the ball like that. When it gets real cold outside and it's at Lambeau Field, and you're playing a playoff game. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be running the ball, play defense. That's what the playoffs are and have always been, especially when in the cold.
Oh, yeah. Bryce,
Tampa potentially could win the division, but I think the Saints are still going to win that, so they're going to be on the road for those playoff games, and we're really going to learn a lot about what Tampa is made of with Arians and Brady in the same system when they have to go play a road playoff game.
I firmly believe Tampa is going to be a one and done. And I know I've been on the Tampa Bay hate train all season. I've been so against Brady. But in reality, with the way the team has played we'll go with just the last month. They're so up and down, and you can't be up and down once the playoffs start.
Nope. You have to be on every week, and they have not shown that they can do that.
They went down 17-0 on Atlanta in the first half this weekend. Go ahead, Bruce.
I mean, is anybody keeping count how many fourth-quarter leads Atlanta's blown? It's got to be some kind of record.
Yeah, they're about to definitely break some kind of record.
Let's go post 28-3. Yeah, post 28-3. How many have they blown? Jesus Christ, I forgot about that.
7.
That's some kind of record, something for sure.
So right now, if the playoffs started today, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would be at Seattle.
They don't win that game.
You don't think so?
No.
I mean, it's not like Seattle been playing their best ball either.
With the game in Seattle, in the playoffs, Tampa Bay doesn't win.
I don't see Tampa Bay.
I'd say the opposite.
I mean, do you have any fans in Seattle making a difference? Are they letting people into the stands?
I believe Seattle's at 25%.
Yeah.
And they're going to pipe in noise, which it's funny that teams are allowed to pipe in noise this year because, I don't know, 5 teams got penalized for that over the past 5 years and lost draft picks because of it.
So Tampa plays their next game is against the Panthers, I believe.
Yeah.
And then they play at Atlanta again. So if they potentially lose that 6th spot to Arizona, you're now going on the road to the Saints, who bludgeoned them twice this year. So I see a very early playoff exit for Tampa if they don't pick it up and at least, get that 5th spot where you can go at Washington. Maybe you win that game. But if they stay in that 6th or 7th spot, they're going to have a very early playoff exit. I don't see them winning a road playoff game.
Are we general consensus whoever plays Washington basically has a bye week?
I don't know, man. Washington plays some good.
I wouldn't say that.
Let me rephrase that. If anybody that plays Washington without Alex Smith basically has a bye week.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a bold prediction here. The Rams, if the playoffs started today, are Rams at Washington. I have the Rams losing that game.
Yeah, I mean,
make Jared Goff uncomfortable.
They just lost to the Jets, so yeah, I firmly believe it. Firmly.
Yeah, if you can make Jared Goff uncomfortable, he'll turn the ball over.
Yeah, Kyle Allen's that type of guy to just come out of nowhere and have a big game. He's done it before. He's just the type of guy to come out. Just 1 week throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, and then next week throw 3 interceptions. That's just who he is. I
guarantee you won't be in primetime football on a Saturday because that's a definite Saturday game.
So here I got it. Who's got a better chance of the playoffs to win a playoff game, the Steelers or the Bucs?
I'm going to say the Steelers.
They're going to have an easy game at first.
So who's the matchup for the Steelers as it stands right now?
So if the playoffs started today, it would be Colts at Steelers.
Oh, I'd take Colts all day.
Oh, man.
Colts all day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think Tampa Bay could beat Seattle with how Seattle's playing right now. Easier than the Steelers could beat the Colts.
I agree. I definitely give Tampa the edge, but it's not much. I still don't think at Seattle. I think Russell Wilson takes care of business and he would beat out Brady for that game.
I mean, Seattle just has no pass rush. To beat Brady, you got to make him uncomfortable.
That's not true.
That's right. They got Dunlap. Now.
And in the last 5 games, I think they're like number 1 in a few defensive categories. I think they're number 1 in sacks actually within the last 5 weeks. Ever since they got Carlos Dunlap, that defense has been very nice.
Yeah, I forgot. I think he's got like 4.5 sacks in 6 games or something like that. He's been playing good. Yeah.
And Jamal Adams is like the best blitzing safety ever.
Sorry about that, boys.
No, it's okay.
Had to mute myself real quick. Did you hear my wife?
What'd she say?
She said he just doesn't like you guys.
Oh, yeah.
We are on a show together on a Tuesday night. I skipped a Christmas party for this. I like you guys.
No one likes Christmas parties. Come on now.
I'm not saying
you
you're
guys
wrong.
You're gonna go wear sweaters and eat fruitcake, whatever.
Literally. So
right.
We got through Tampa Bay. We talked about Pittsburgh. I'm just going through our I wish we had a ticker. I want a ticker so bad. I got to figure out how to get that on here. Downfall Pittsburgh. Check. Number 1 overall pick. Check. QB free agent market. Check. Josh Allen is elite.
Check.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So that leaves 3 more topics, and I think we might go overtime tonight. because it's been far too long since we've been live. I was expecting my wife to stare me down. So we're gonna go into. I wanted to save this one for last. So we're gonna go into. Is Mitch Trubisky the backbone of the Chicago Bears?
Oh boy,
that's such a weird way.
No.
I don't know, man. I mean,
I don't know. They seem to win when he's on the field.
When they play terrible teams.
Yes. Is Mitch a lightning rod for that team? I mean, what is it? I don't know. They're such a confusing team. I just don't understand them. I quit trying.
Nothing about the Chicago Bears makes sense. They shouldn't have been 5-0. Then they lose the next 5.
And then Trubisky, who's the reason why they were losing, comes back and they start winning. I don't understand.
Okay. Let's pump the brakes just a little bit. So Mitch Trubisky gets the start at Green Bay. They lose that game 41-25. I understand Green Bay's a good team. It's a divisional rival. Yeah, we always whoop on the Bears. Fine. But Mitch Trubisky was 26 of 46 for 242 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and he had a fumble. So you put him against a good defense with a good pass rush and a good secondary, and he's classic Mitch Trubisky, where he's turning the ball over, fumbling the ball, not very accurate on his throws. Now, then you put him, they go at home against the Lions. Then he was 26 of 34, 267 yards, and 1 touchdown. Now, the Lions got to him twice. So, yeah, I mean, when you put him up against a terrible defense, and then after that, they go to Jacksonville against the Deshaun Watson and the junior college team that they have there. And he's 24.
Wait, whoa.
You said they went to Jacksonville, they went to Houston.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. They went to Houston. Watson. I'm sorry. Houston.
Oh, okay.
Houston. Yeah. 24-33 for 267 yards and 3 touchdowns. Great game. But Houston got to him 3 times. Now, if you look in these games, the common denominator is that David Montgomery has had over, I think, over 100 rushing yards in both games.
I mean, is that bad though? I mean, when you have
no. It shows that maybe there's something there with Mitch, but if you can't run the ball, which Chicago seems to not be able to do, as the last 3 seasons, that just seems like just now they're starting to realize that David Montgomery might be an elite running back. That Mitch is not very good against good teams. So I'm out. I'm out on Mitch.
What if? Let's play a little bit of fantasy. I fully firmly believe Matt Nagy is another coach that gets fired at the end of the year.
Yes, he's got to go.
Does the new coach come in and, much like the Jets and Sam Darnold, now that they lost the number 1 pick, the pieces are there for Mitch. They are there.
Yeah. You have Allen Robinson. You have Darnell Mooney, who's been a star.
Yeah, he's a beast. I love him coming out.
He's a free agent at the end of the year, and he is not going to resign.
Yeah, A-Rob's out. He's not re-signing in Chicago. He shouldn't have signed there in the first place.
Absolutely. So let's be real, Chicago's going to be in the back end of the 20 or the 10s.
Yep.
So do they go for a quarterback in the draft, or does the new coach and GM come in and see what Mitch really has for the next season?
I don't know what the market is for Mitch.
I don't think he's fixable. I mean,
Carson Wentz is fixable, and he's still going to have a job.
I think Carson Wentz is fixable if you can give him time. He gets time to set his feet. I think he's all right.
There's rumors coming out of Philly that Carson Wentz might not want to play football anymore. That's not fixable.
Yeah, though. Well, Carson Wentz gets demoralized. I've never seen a quarterback that's had to go through so much so quickly. That he tore his ACL, then he broke his back, and then on top of that, his backup went and won a Super Bowl with his team that he got to the playoffs. So every time he comes into work, they put a statue of Nick Foles in front of their stadium, and he has to look at that every time he walks into work. So, I just think he's done with Philly. I think they're both done with each other. That extension was a mistake, And it's time for them to try to undo that and just kind of take the damage as it is.
That's another one where the money is going to screw up. They're going to have to give draft compensation. You're going to trade Carson Wentz in like a third-round pick for a 7th.
Yep.
Like, that's the only way you're going to get rid of Carson. There's no way Carson stays on Philly this offseason under any circumstance.
No, you
on
can't.
The same token, Trubisky is also a free agent. Mm-hmm. So he also would have to re-sign with Chicago, and I just don't see that happening. What about a Carson Wentz, Mitch Trubisky swap?
Oof. That's not – it's not good for either quarterback.
The quarterback I'd like to see him in Chicago is Kyle Trask out of Florida. I think he's got the arm to play in the NFC North. That's who I'd like to see. That's who I've mocking to Chicago every draft. I think that's where you go. You got to have a QB with a strong arm to play in Chicago. You're throwing against rain, wind, high winds, snow. You got to have a strong arm. He's got the strongest arm in the draft. That's the best pick for me. Or Stafford, but I don't think he goes a division rival like that. I think he's out of the NFC North. So, yeah. That's who I got.
I could see a guy like Mac Jones. I could even see like a Trey Lance if they were able to move up. I could definitely see Chicago getting a guy like Trey Lance that can move out of the pocket a little bit. Still has a pretty decent arm. It might fit a little bit better in Matt Nagy's system, but I definitely agree with Kyle Trask. I'm not as high on Kyle Trask as you are.
No.
I see a lot of like. I've seen a lot of the red flags I've seen in Justin Herbert that I'm now wrong about, but
that's what I was saying. I was right about Herbert, but
yeah, you were definitely right about Herbert. I was out on Herbert.
Can we just again for the third time tonight? I'm patting myself on the back. Joe Burrow got murdered by the Cincinnati offensive line.
Yeah.
And frankly,
poor Joe.
His career is not going to be the same.
They have to draft Penei Sewell.
Yeah, that's the only logical pick there, and maybe kick Jonah Williams inside or play Penei Sewell right tackle. I don't know.
Are they sitting at 3 right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to take T-Law's going 1 no matter what. What are the Jets going to do if they don't trade out? Let's take that approach real quick. Do they take? And I know they just got Becton. But do they take Penei Sewell to put on the other side?
In the event that they don't trade out of the first round, or not even trade out of the first round, but trade down, I'd like to see them get somebody for Sam Darnold to throw to. So, Jamar Chase would be nice. Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, one of those guys are going to be the first receiver off the board. And if they have to go at 3, if they have to take that pick, they don't like any trade offers or anything like that, or 2. I think that's the pick. I mean, you have Becton, so you don't really need a left tackle. A right tackle would be nice, but you can address that later in the draft. You got to take something for Sam Darnold to help, some kind of weapon.
The tackle draft's pretty deep as well. These guys deep into the second that could be starters day 1. So I don't see him wasting another high pick on a draft on a tackle. Which, who knows, they're the Jets. They're liable to be picking in the top 5 for the next 5 years. Who knows?
Yeah.
I think Jamar Chase is universally the number 1 overall wide receiver in this draft.
It's hard to say. Devontae Smith is really good.
I think before the ankle injury, Jalen Waddle was my top one, man. He is dynamic. I mean, he's not.
So the ankle injury is the only reason I don't put Waddle up there with Chase.
Yeah, I'd still take Waddle top 10, even with the injury.
Yeah,
I think I'm mocking to the
really good.
I want Waddle to fall down to New England, wherever they end up.
That'd be great. That's a dream scenario.
I think I mocked Rondale Moore to New England.
Yeah, I might mock Kyle Pitts to New England, which would also be a great pickup. In there.
What about Devin Asiasi?
I like Asiasi coming out of college. I think, but I don't know if he's not Kyle Pitts.
I just got so upset.
I also liked Asiasi coming out of college, but holy shit, was he a waste of a pick?
No, man. Look, he's his first year. You got to give him a little time. He was raw. That was the big thing coming out.
The other guy's name. We have 2. What was the other rookie's name?
Yeah, they drafted like 3 times this year. I can't remember. I remember Asiasi, and just because he has a funny last name.
Yeah, I play on Madden. I use complete like XFL style league. So if you're on over 70 overall, you're not in the league. And I always end up with Asiasi as my tight end. But who's the other tight end that didn't play a single down this year for New England as a rookie?
I can't remember his name. They drafted him like back to back, and they're like 3rd, 4th round.
Yeah,
they weren't drafted for hard.
They tried to pull the Gronk Hernandez, and it just Dalton Keene.
Yeah, that guy.
Neither one of them did a single damn of a thing this year.
Looks like they've been banged up.
Yeah, Asiasi was hurt from like preseason.
So was Keene. And then Dalton Keene dealt with some family issues in the middle of the season, too, where he missed out on 3 weeks. So we already started talking about the Carson Wentz drama. Does anybody have anything else they want to add to that?
No.
We pretty much
it's done. He needs to change the scenery.
It's the Jalen Hurts era in Philly.
Yep.
Which is going to be like the Dak Prescott era in Dallas. In a few years, we'll be talking. Is Jalen Hurts worth $40 million a year?
Yeah, Hurts is a star.
So that leaves us with our final subject of the night. I was going to save Carson Wentz for last because, I felt like it was going to be entertaining had we not already hit on it. But you guys screwed up on that. I just got told by my wife I did it. It's my fault. I'll take the blame. I won't pat myself on the back this time, guys. Don't worry. So I'm going to go into the best GM and coaching vacancy. Now, you can take this however you want, the best GM by itself and the best coaching vacancy by itself, or put them together because most of those openings are together.
First thing comes to mind would be the Chargers. Anthony Lynn's probably out, and that is a excellent place to start. A loaded roster with a great young quarterback on a rookie deal. There's going to be a lot of coaches lining up to get that job.
Yeah, I agree. The Chargers is definitely an attractive job. I would say Houston. If you're a young offensive-minded coach and you think that you're decent enough at team building, you need a head coach and a GM. So I think Houston's a spot. You get Deshaun Watson. Yeah, you get to build around that guy. And that guy with talent around him is good enough to beat Patrick Mahomes in a few playoff games.
So you went with coach. I'm going to go GM here. If I'm a GM, I want to go to Jacksonville. You have the surefire Lawrence, along with 10 other draft picks and the most money for free agency.
Yep.
Okay, you, as a GM, you cannot fuck that up.
No, you can't.
I mean, you can. Absolutely can.
If I was a young GM, I want to go to Carolina.
Yeah.
I want to go be with the Panthers because, man, they've got a lot of really young guys on that defense who are really good. I don't know if you've been keeping up with a certain Jeremy Chin this year.
Jeremy Chin has had a phenomenal year.
He just got snubbed from the Pro Bowl for Quandre Diggs. And it should definitely be Jeremy Chin up there. Brian Burns.
Did Xavier Howard get in?
Yes.
Okay, I was going to say he's one interception away from 10 for the first time since Antonio Cromartie in the 2007, so he damn well better be in.
There's a ton of young talent on that Panthers defense, and you just need to fit a quarterback that's not Teddy Bridgewater because you got Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore. You're going to have healthy Christian McCaffrey, Curtis Samuel.
Robbie Anderson is free agent at the end of the year.
I think they'll probably end up re-signing him.
With how he's played, they have to.
And you have a really good coach in Matt Rule, as well as a good offensive coordinator in Joe Brady. So I think that's a very
Isn't Brady's name being floated for head coaching jobs now, though?
It is. I just don't know if he's going to be already a coach.
A few more years in Carolina, at least, where he's able to hop on a whole team.
I mean, there was a point in time where all you had to do was sniff Sean McVay and you were a head coach in the NFL.
Hey, that's my coach.
That's how LaFleur got his job.
Yeah, LaFleur was like, "Hey, I
just happened to work out."
LaFleur was 1 year in Tennessee and was like, "Hey, you know Sean McVay, take over Green Bay."
I did see an interesting kind of stat. I think you guys will kind of like this. So that Sean McVay system, that Mike Shanahan, Kyle Shanahan system that everybody runs nowadays, if you look at it, back in the day, Mike Shanahan in that third year in that system with John Elway, they won the Super Bowl. Kyle Shanahan in his second year with Jimmy Garoppolo in that system went to the Super Bowl. Sean McVay with his second year with Jared Goff in that system went to the Super Bowl. So I'm just saying, man, it's Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur's second year together.
Time for him to break that sign.
Yeah, so they may go to the Super Bowl, but earlier in the show, and you even admitted, nobody in the NFC has beaten Buffalo or Kansas City. So.
Oh no, I think we'd beat Buffalo.
Oh, God, no.
They can't run the ball.
God, no.
That's the only way you beat Green Bay. You can't run the ball.
Oh, man, I don't know. I hadn't talked to you since, I don't know. We hadn't done this since the Buccaneers played the Packers that week. I think that's the last time we did it. Yeah. And they spanked them that week. And I was like, man, I'm ready to go talk to Austin about that.
That's okay. It won't happen again. Tampa's falling apart.
We haven't been live in way too long. It feels nice to be live again.
Yeah, it does.
So, what do you think about the Atlanta GM vacancy and coaching vacancy?
It's a weird.
You're basically stuck with, no matter what you're talking about, Ryan, money wise, you're probably going to have to ship Julio Jones out of town.
Yep.
And you basically build around Calvin Ridley and AJ Terrell.
But Calvin Ridley's already like 27 because he come out at like 24. So, I mean, how much longer does he really have? And he was old coming out. And then you got Grady Jarrett, who's also only like 28.
28, 29. Yeah. I would not want to be in Atlanta. There's too many old contracts that are coming up.
It's just one of those teams they're talented but aging, but they're not competing. Yeah. It's a weird team to take over.
You kind of probably be in that division.
Yeah, you probably got to strip it to start over.
Until Brady's out of that division, I don't want to verse Brady and Brees.
Yeah.
And then
Brees is done after this year, and Brady probably done after next year. So going forward, you won't have to deal with them, but I still wouldn't want to be in that division. Carolina's on the come up.
Yeah, that's what I'd say. Carolina is a quarterback away, I think, from being a very dangerous team.
Yeah, they just kind of they've been in every game they played this year. I mean, I don't know if you kept track.
Yeah,
how many one-score games they've had.
And they played without Christian McCaffrey the whole year, basically. He played, 3 or 4 weeks total?
Yeah. I mean, they kept it close with us. They kept it close, or Green Bay. They kept it close with Kansas City. They were keeping it close with Tampa Bay for a while until Tampa Bay just blew them out of the water. That they're a tough out, and especially when Christian McCaffrey's back.
And that shows good coaching. That's what I like. Yep. You can keep it close like that. That's a good coaching. So yeah, they're going to be dangerous here in the next. They should be dangerous next.
They
5
draft
years.
well. They draft exceptionally well. I'd argue that last year they had the best draft.
Yeah.
Where do you guys think is the worst job opening? Detroit or New York? The Jets, that is.
It's got to be the Jets.
I disagree. I think it's the Lions.
Because the Lions have to re-sign Kenny Golladay and Marvin Jones this offseason.
I think Golladay leaves.
Yeah, you can lose both of those guys, and you're left with nobody but T.J. Hockenson.
Yep. They have to completely tear that thing apart. Stafford's going to be gone. Golladay is going to be gone. Jones is going to be gone, and they're going to have to start from scratch. I think they have a better shot completely starting from scratch with their new regime than the Jets. Yeah, I'd rather take that 2 overall pick and trade it for 6 more picks.
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
Yeah.
If I'm the Lions, I need to relocate, change the name, change the logo, everything. Everything's got to go.
Get the owner to sell the team to Jeff Bezos for crying out loud.
Yeah, it's got to go. The Arkansas Amazon, that's what they'll call it.
Who do they really have on defense that's any good? I mean, at least, the Jets have like C.J. Mosley, Quentin Williams has played pretty good this year.
He's a free agent at the end of the year.
Who is?
Mosley.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, you got Quentin Williams.
I think Jeff Okudah, I don't want to judge him too early, but he's kind of a bust.
Yeah. It's tough to play corner in the NFL.
It is. It takes a couple of years usually. Jair Alexander,
historically speaking, historically speaking, most cornerbacks have a 1 year cushion, so to speak, to adjust to the NFL. AJ Terrell is the exception.
Yeah, he's been the starter since day one. So he's played as well as anybody in that position could have. He was kind of, in my opinion, overdrafted. So thrust into that role as a number one pick, I think he's done pretty well.
I agree. Well, any final thoughts, boys?
Nothing. I think I got nothing. Can't wait for this weekend's games.
It's going to be a good weekend of football. Week 16. We got one more week. It is 16, right? Yeah.
Yep.
We have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I can get used to this. I think the NFL should do this every weekend.
I agree.
4 days of football.
I agree. Yeah. I can't wait to watch Derrick Henry carry a few of my secondary players into the end zone. Just on his back, just hustling.
So I believe we'll be back next week. Hopefully we'll be back next week.
Okay.
That's the goal. And have a good night, everybody.
Take it easy. Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever you celebrate. Happy Kwanzaa.
Non-denominational holiday is,
Happy Hanukkah, you name it. All right.